Hi everyone, I am Mark. Welcome on Money. And today I will talk about BANXA, a company that operates as a payment service provider for the cryptocurrency exchanges. And to talk about this company, I will be with Domenic Carosa, founder of the company. How are you, Domenic?
Very well, thanks, Mark, and yourself.
I'm great, thank you. Um, your company showed a lot of great improvements recently about the TTVs, Nasdaq listing, some nominations for awards. And could we talk first about the Nasdaq uplisting? What's the process out of it, and what are going to be the beneficial side when you will uh, uplist to Nasdaq?
Certainly. Today, we're listed on the TSXV and the OTCQX, and with the TSX being our core, our main exchange. We announced very recently that we have already started the process of our Nasdaq uplisting, and we expect that to occur sometime early calendar year 2022. And if I was a betting man, I would say sometime towards the end of the first quarter 2022. In my view, there are many benefits for Banxa being listed on Nasdaq. First of all, Nasdaq is the deepest market for technology stocks in the world. There's obviously, from a liquidity perspective, from a research perspective, it's basically the biggest market, and we think that has many positives for Banxa. There are a number of reasons why we're going through that particular process. Ultimately, I think that will be a really good way of unlocking shareholder value. I personally don't believe we're really getting the kind of valuations that we should be on the TSXV. And so this step to Nasdaq will obviously provide us, and it's really a next logical step for the company. We're being listed from early next year. We're being listed for 12 months. We'll basically be effectively pushing the button on what is called a fast track process
Okay.
for the uplist or the dual list. And because we're being listed for more than 12 months, when we put in our final submission, we get certain exemptions, like exemptions from Sarbanes-Oxley and some other requirements as well. So it's a great way of being listed on Nasdaq, without all the extra costs.
Okay. So just like to summarize real quick, it's like if by uplisting to Nasdaq, you basically should be valued at your fair valuation, because right now on the TSXV you are undervalued if we take a look at your competitors. That's right.
Yeah. In fact, I could even share a particular slide that specifically talks. And I'm just trying to find that particular slide deck, which actually looks at some of the comparables in the space. And right now we're trading at roughly 3 times
Okay.
our EV to revenue. For some reason the slide deck's going a little bit crazy, but
Okay.
all in all, there's some comparables out in the marketplace,
Oh yeah.
and in that respect, I think it's a great way. Actually, this is a particular slide here. I'm just
Okay.
finding the right.
Perfect.
And this came out at the end of November, and as you can see, EV to revenue, we're at 2.9. We're slightly above 3 now with the current share price. You'll notice that the average, the median and the average is between 10 and 13. So I think there's obviously some upside there. And what you'll also notice is most of those companies are Nasdaq listed, or they've been listed in Canada for over 3 years.
Okay.
Banks has been listed for 12 months, or not even 12 months. And hence, I think that will help us, just get much more exposure. And we've also already had, since that announcement, investment banks and research firms reach out to us wanting to, really start following the company and just getting our name out there, because most people from the investment community have never heard of Banxa before.
Okay. And so when you are talking about the requirements, so what specific requirements do you need? Let's say, is there a specific share price to reach or to stay above during a several time to be able to go to Nasdaq?
Yes, we already meet the minimum requirements. From memory, it's over $2 US, and we're
Okay.
already over that $2 number for, I think it's 60 days, or it has to be over, I think, $4 for 3 or 4 days. So
Okay.
we already meet the minimum capitalization, and there are a number of other requirements as well. And so we've more than comfortable with regards to sitting within those requirements. And as we announced in the announcement, there's no need for any kind of consolidation or anything like that. We all, as of today, we actually meet the requirements, and we put in our final submission
Mm-hmm.
on the 7th of January because that's our 12-month anniversary, and that's how we can take advantage
Okay.
of the fast track process.
It's very interesting that you're talking and you are explaining and clarifying actually the requirements, because if you're going on different websites, financial website, and you go on boards, you could see people are sort of like arguing about the requirements. So some people, as you said, they say, oh, it has to be like $3 above 20 days, or $4 above 20 days as well, or it's not. It's like it's kind of blurry for investors. So it's nice that you're clarifying that it's just like it has to be above $2 for how many days did you say again? 60 days?
I think it's 60 days, and we're
Yeah,
being
right.
all over that. We've got legal counsel in the US who have done many of these uplistings before.
Okay.
We're obviously
Okay.
relying on them. They are the experts, and based upon their feedback so far, we have met the requirements literally for months and months already.
Okay, this is nice. And yeah, you don't need to do so. You don't need to do a reverse split or anything, right? As you are
Yeah.
fulfilling already, yeah, everything. No, this is nice because sometimes some people there, some companies actually they want to go to Nasdaq, but they have to do a reverse split. And the fact that banks are, which is very young and doesn't need to do all of this process to kind of pump their financial fundamentals, is definitely great. And because we talk about Nasdaq, and as as you explained, like the companies ranking up, and we gotta talk about again about the November TTVs, the total transaction value, that I think were pretty amazing, right?
Where we actually had an absolute record November in terms of TTV, total transaction value. In fact, November was almost in line with the entire September quarter. So we did as much transaction value through our platform in November than we did all of the whole September quarter. And so you can see there's very strong trajectory in terms of the business performance, and obviously we're very pleased with that. And we've done a really good job, and our
Mhm.
CEO and the team have done a fantastic job in really building the scalability of the platform. We processed, and we're processing hundreds of thousands of transactions, every month, and
Mhm.
it's not missing a beat. And we've really built out our not only our infrastructure but our customer support team, because we are advocates of what we call fanatical support.
Mhm.
Really basically loving the customer, and giving them all that we can give them. Ultimately a very good service, so they come back and buy more. And so in that respect, we're very pleased, and that's
Mhm.
up 500-600% on a year-on-year basis, and was up 50% on a effectively from the prior month.
Mhm.
So from October to November, we were up 50% just in that month.
This is crazy. Just for also like for the month of November, you had in USD 173 million in total transaction value. So we can say, okay, we can say that the 1 billion total transaction value will be very possible in the future, right?
And that's the aim, and that's why I absolutely love the business model. Whether we're doing 170 million TTV a month, or whether
Mhm.
we're doing 1.7 billion TTV a month, the technology does the heavy lifting. There is what we call, there's a lot of leverage in the
Mhm.
business model. And sure, we'll need to add some extra Amazon AWS hosting, some extra customer support people, but
Mhm.
effectively, the business model is highly, highly scalable as we get to scale. And if you ask me what I think scale is, I think doing 3 or 4 billion a quarter, that's scale, and that's where I believe at that stage the company should be highly profitable.
Uh, this is amazing because like everybody's talking about 1 billion, but the fact that you are saying 3 to 4 billion for a quarter is awesome. And so, what's your plan to do this? So, is it like really strategy to acquire new partners like monthly?
Yeah. So in November, we signed up 20, that's
Okay.
20, new partners. And just to be sort of super clear here, not all partners are equal. The
Mhm.
Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule applies in business and in life, in my view. And so it's obviously quantity is important, but quality
Mhm.
is even more important. And our focus has really been on the top 25, and in some cases the top 50 customers. And so what you'll see within those 20 new signups, there are some of the top 25 to top 50 exchanges and wallets in the world. And that's who we're really focusing on, because that's ultimately where the volume, which will make a material impact on our TTV, will come from. We've now got a full complement sales team. We're continuing to build out that sales, the BD, the business development infrastructure. And as we say internally, we feel like we've just started. This industry is still so embryonic.
Mhm.
And even though we've been in it for 7 years, what we're seeing is it's been I'll call it the early adopters. The last seven or so years has all been about some of the tech nerds, some of the finance nerds.
Mhm.
So it's the early adopter phase. And what we're now starting to see, and I think 2022 will really be the start of mass consumer, mass institutional adoption. And as we know, not just in this industry, but all other industries, that's the big part of the market. The big part of the
Okay.
market is that mass market. The early adopters could be let's call it the 20% of people, 25% of people. The mass market, that's 50% of the people. And then obviously you've got your laggards at the
Mhm.
end, the other 25% who will maybe never adopt crypto. And that's why we're really so excited, is that we're now, I think, moving into this new growth phase, as more and more people start getting exposure to digital assets or cryptocurrencies.
Okay. Oh, when you're talking about this 20-25%, let's say for my own, I'm too scared to invest in crypto. This is why I do believe that people that are scared to invest in crypto should invest in your type of company, because either the cryptos market goes up or down. This is where you make money. It's like I would say the safe place where to invest. And because we're talking about third parties payment, but uh, people can also buy tokens thanks to your website. How many tokens do you support, and do you plan to support more in the future?
We currently support about 50 tokens or digital currencies. Obviously, the major ones like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and a number of stable coins. We're continually adding new coins, but once again, the 80-20 rule applies. We
Mhm.
focus on the ones that are obviously have the highest volume, and ultimately where we have customer demand.
Mhm.
We're currently working on a number of layer 2 type services as well, and so this is an ongoing part of the business, is to really focus on adding more coins or tokens as time goes on, and ultimately giving the customer what they want.
Okay. I see. This is great because you are on all the fronts. Like you are involved in other. I would say involved in other companies. You are also involved inside the stock market as well, because you are traded. People can also go on your website, like for the tokens, which is definitely great.
And I think, Mark, your point is, as we say in Australia, you've hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
Banks is really a good way for investors to get access to the cryptocurrency market
Mm-hmm.
without actually owning the
Yeah,
underlying
definitely.
currency. And so in that respect, because, and the other thing that I should just further add to the Banxa model, whether the price of Bitcoin is going up or down, we clip the ticket. And that's the beauty of the model. We're like the picks and the shovels of the industry. And that's once again, why I really love the business is because it doesn't matter which coin wins, whether the prices are going up or down, we just simply clip the ticket.
Oh, this is amazing for sure. By the way, I remember this saying that you were just saying. I will try to reuse it. And because you have a healthy growth, the company has a healthy growth, is growing fast as well. Do you have have you been nominated to any awards recently?
We've been nominated for a number of awards across the world, and as a fast-growing organisation, it's something that is obviously, we're obviously very pleased with being nominated and being finalists, and I think putting that aside, once again, it really comes down to the A team, the gold medal team that we've really put together. As we say, it's a team effort. And it's really testament to the team and our CEO Holger, who's done a fantastic job in building a very scalable business, and we've got a really great management team as well. So all of these awards and nominations are really just a reflection of the great talent that we have in the company.
Well, this is definitely great. I am personally excited to see what the next quarter in 2022 is going to bring with the Nasdaq uplisting. Excited to see also about the medium and long term with your company, where it will be heading at. And thank you again for taking some of your time to explain more about your business and more on the vision of your path. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Mark. Have a good day.
Have a good day as well.